As you know, this is our pre-endorsing conference leading up to our endorsing convention next month. So this is the first step of our endorsement process. And it's the one that possibly is considered a little more democratic because we not only have delegates voting here, but we also have, yes, we also have club reps. Is there feedback when I do that? So welcome everyone. Glad you could make it. We are going to be hearing from, we have 2 races that we're going to consider. We'll be hearing from 4 candidates for the Assembly and 6 candidates for the Senate District 24, or Senate District 64 candidates. They've all filed and are eligible to be considered by the Democratic Party. It's an endorsement process. We can't mute the laptop yet. There was. So you may be wondering about incumbents because we, as you know, we have incumbents that represent our region. But this is only for open seats. Or if any of our candidates have been challenged, then we would have a pre-endorsing conference for that, but none of them were challenged. So you might be wondering, but that's not going to work. When the candidates get up here, that's not going to work. They're going to have to talk into them. We'll turn off this mic at that point, I guess. Where was I? So, you know, we have a number of incumbents. We have one sitting right here. We have Assemblywoman Tina McKinner. And she was not challenged, so we will consider her on the consent calendar at convention. Delegates will consider her then.
I just have a question. Was it on the thing it's talked about Ben Allen? Is that? Yeah.
Okay. The regional meeting follows this meeting.
Oh,
okay. All right. So I think that's everything I'm going to cover. Well, you're going to hear this a few times today, okay? You will be getting an electronic ballot at 12 noon. We will all be getting our electronic ballots at 12 noon. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that as the meeting progresses. In order for a candidate to be endorsed at a pre-endorsing conference, they need to garner 70% of the vote. The voting is going to happen, as I said, electronically over the next week. The ballots will be due a week from today at 12 noon. So if a candidate at the end of that process has 70% of the vote, they will be our endorsed candidate that will go to the convention. Unless challenged, there are ways to challenge. If somebody doesn't receive 70% but receives anywhere from 80% to 69%, then there will be an endorsed caucus at the convention, and that will only involve delegates to the convention who live in the district. So I hope that's clear. We're going to be repeating that a few more times. So for more information about the endorsement process, you can always go to CADEM.org/endorsements. Now I'm going to turn this meeting over to Carolyn Fowler.
yes.
Who needs no introduction, obviously.
Well, greetings, everyone. Oh, full house. I can see a good picture from here. I could take one.
Hey, Carolyn, I think you should
Yes.
show everybody your shoes.
My shoes?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean my boots?
Your boots.
I'm ready. We're going to be doing a lot of walking this year, let me just say. So, as your convener, and it's great to see so many of you,
Let me ask.
Oh, you really have to get close to this mic. You have to kiss it. Um, I, I'm going to announce the speaker's order for the Assembly District 66. And so I'm going to maybe ask you to sit in that order so you take so long to get to the mic. Early this week, the CADEM staff did just like the registrar does and pulled the alphabet. So for 26 times they pulled. And so the candidates please be in the order that was pulled. And just in case you need to know, it is online and you can confirm the order that was pulled. Because I know that's coming next. So let me just start with, in this order, Paul Taylor, Scott Houston, Sarah Dean, and Shannon Louise Ross. Are not all here? She's almost here. Well, that's good. Candidates will speak for 3 minutes in the order I just announced. If a candidate misses their allotted time, I will give them a chance to speak at the end of all the speeches. All voters should have received an email from the party explaining the voting process, and we will begin at the end of the meeting. Will the first speaker come forward and please say the time, people? When the time expires, make it your last sentence. And after that, when the last speaker speaks, I will turn this back over to Connie Sullivan. I will be ready. Thank you. You're close to the
Watch it.
I am watching my boots.
All right, let's do a quick mic check real quick. You guys hear me? Yeah. All right, let me know when, guys. All right, hello everyone. My name is Paul Seo. For those of you guys in 866, you guys know my story. I'm a husband, a father, a veteran prosecutor, and city council member in Rancho Palos Verdes. I want to first thank you guys for making a bold and courageous choice back in 2022 when you guys endorsed me for city council. We made history. I was the first person of color to ever sit on that city council in 50 years, and now I'm mayor. So thank you very much to you guys. I appreciate it. We made history. You put your trust in me. And so I owe you some deliverables, right? What are the results of you putting me in office? So the first one is we got a housing element approved, right? We went to Sacramento. We lobbied to make sure that what we were doing in our city met code and statute in terms of housing. Secondly, we made sure that we were prepared for fires, and this is before the Palisades fire. So we coordinated plans to make sure we protected our city. Third one was we actually fixed the electrical infrastructure. What do? We upgraded the system. It hadn't been touched in 25 years. 25 years. But we upgraded it, now it's reliable once again. When we couldn't get funds, we brought back funds from the county for the landslide and helped the citizens and the households in the landslide area. Janice Hahn helped us out, to shout out to her. But we were able to get money with the state walking towards a deficit. Now, we also stabilized landslide, portions of it. And we made sure that houses weren't red tagged. We saved lives and houses, and people are the resources. Lastly, this one may not seem as important, but we installed some traffic signals. And what we did was we made sure that we prioritized those traffic signals and intersections because they were creating so many accidents, people were getting hurt. We saved lives, the process of it, we instituted it, and within a year and a half, 2 years, we actually built it out. So now it's protecting lives and helping people cross streets. And lastly, I think this is the most important part, issue is even in hard times, we balanced the budget and we got things done. So that being said, I know how to fight and win in tough times. And we improved the quality of life of the people that we were addressing. And the most important part is we made a difference. This was all because you put your trust in me, you put me in that. So what I wanted to say to you guys, I hope that you guys make a bold and courageous choice again to send me to Sacramento. I'm the only person in this race, candidate in this race, asking for a sponsorship, an endorsement, and your support in this race because it means so much to me. I understand the gravity, the power of your choice. I've been in your seat. I've been a delegate. I've been an endorser. I do it at LACDP. People call me now asking for an endorsement. And I understand the gravity and the weight of decision making. So for me, it's important. So I ask 2 questions. This is what I'm going to close with. I ask two questions when I'm endorsing people. Can I trust this person to make good decisions for me and my family? I'm going to say that again. Can I trust this person to make good decisions for me and my family? The second question is, does this person have the experience, real experience and good judgment to fight and win for me? And I think those two questions I can answer in the affirmative. So that being said, I just want to say thank you. I hope you take a bold chance again like you did in 2022 and support me. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
All right, well, good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Houston, and let me start by just saying the California dream is broken, but it's not dead. You know, times are difficult right now. We're the fourth largest economy in the world, and yet, for who? I have talked to people already in this assembly race from our district, from the teacher in Manhattan Beach who has to rent a house from his parents because he can't afford to buy a home of his own, to a small business owner in Torrance who can't afford to bring in good new talent because of the cost of living, to seniors who are obviously concerned about cuts to Medi-Cal and to Social Security and who are living on a fixed income. These are real people and these are real problems, and that's why I'm running for the state assembly. I am running to tackle everyday issues head on that will deliver results for our district and our state. And that's exactly what I've been doing for over 11 years on the West Basin Water Board, one of the largest water districts in Southern California, where I represent over 200,000 residents on our board. I've fought for clean, safe, affordable water. I've made sure we're protecting our environment, making sure that we're not putting more wastewater out into the ocean. And I've also brought tens of millions of dollars into this district from both Sacramento and Washington, D.C. as we harden our infrastructure for the future. And I stood for working people. We've made sure we've got good, strong PLAs in place, project labor agreements at the water district, as well as when the Metropolitan Water District was experiencing tremendous issues of workplace discrimination, bullying, harassment, particularly for women, people of color, and the LGBTQ+ community. I was the only elected official on the water board in this region who stood up and called for a state audit from Sacramento, and we got that passed. And that's the kind of same work ethic and tenacity I will bring to this position as I work to represent you in Sacramento. I want to make sure that we're keeping our small businesses here in California. I want to make sure that we're helping people rebuild after all the natural disasters we are now accustomed to. And I want to make sure we're protecting our environment from polluters and those who want to destroy our environment. I got into politics because of injustice. As a young gay man, I was told I didn't belong, but that didn't stop me. That didn't stop me from getting involved with the party politics, getting involved in local office, and to being a great representative of my community, but for all of us. So with that, I have the most local endorsements in this district. I have the most labor endorsements, and I look forward to letting the voters decide in June who will be their representatives. So today, I ask for a no endorsement vote of our Assembly District 66 delegates, and I look forward to getting to know more of you and all of our voting residents in the 66 come June and beyond. Thank you.
Sarah Dean here. Thank you, delegates, Carolyn Fowler, and our local party leaders for gathering us here today. Delegates, you are being offered two competing visions for our party and our state today. I was raised to believe that every single one of you, every single one of us is inherently worthy and has something to offer. In fact, many of you in this room share my vision and stood shoulder to shoulder with me as we organized the key campaign promises. Together, we fought back when they came after our LGBTQ kids. We fought back when they came for our teachers. We fought back when they came for our student journalists. We have fought back against this idea that some belong more than others, that some are more worthy than others. We have seen what it is possible when leadership embodies this value. During my term, our school district has risen in statewide rankings year over year. And we, many of you in here know this, together, we passed a local school bond measure, literally saving our schools, even though many thought it impossible. And yet, a competing vision has been revealed in how some persuade delegates. This competing vision believes that your worth, your place in our party and state are tied to who you know. That our ability to bring our change is tied to who our friends are. As a teenager, my dad came to this country because he believed in this country, it does not matter where you come from or who you know. America is a place where we all inherently have worth, have something to offer, and together we build a better future. He taught me who I know and what I look like do not determine my belonging. And that radical, hopeful belief likely brought your parents, grandparents, or ancestors to this beautiful and imperfect nation. But this competing vision, the one that only elevates the well-connected, is crippling our state and stifling local talent. Talent we desperately need to solve our biggest problems like climate change, the housing crisis, and our catastrophe of a healthcare system. I'm grateful to be a Californian, and yet it's more difficult to live here today than when I was growing up. We just can't keep doing what we've been doing as a state and as a party. We have to elect leaders who think and behave differently. People who truly embody government of the people, for the people, by the people, in every space, from our local political clubs to state parties, from the state house all the way to the halls of Congress. True power lies with us, the people. So delegates, step into your power today. You do not need an invitation from the powerful. You are the powerful. We are the powerful. I ask for your support today, not because I look like important people or I know important people, but because I'm one of you. Let's work shoulder to shoulder again to keep campaign promises and deliver results for the South Bay and our beautiful state. Let's do this together. Thank you.
Well, good morning or afternoon, everyone. Shannon Ross here. I'm going to be honest, it's kind of surreal to be on this end. I've participated in these pre-endorsement meetings for about a decade, and it's a very surreal moment to be over here as a candidate for Assembly District 66. I'm very excited to speak with you briefly today, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself for many of you who do not know me yet. I was a mom at 15 years old. I come from a very difficult life. I worked very hard to be where I am at this moment. And I've worked very hard for working families, for things like healthcare, working. I apologize. It's a little bit overwhelming today to see all of you. So give me 1 second. I speak in front of people all the time, but this is like my peers, right? You're all my people, right? We all work really hard to be in the Democratic Party. We're all advocates. We all want the best people elected in our communities. That's what I'm looking for too, right? As a young mom, as somebody who works so hard to be where I am and to be on this other side. I'm not a polished elected official. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not somebody who, lives in a $10 million home, but I do come from a working family. I represent working people. I represent what the American dream looks like, right? I'm able to live in a home in a beautiful neighborhood now. I worked very hard to get here, and I want that for other people. I want people to be able to live and work in their community. I want people to have health care. I want people to have childcare, and I want people to have quality education. And I think that those are all things that we all want, right? So as a Democratic Party leader, as somebody who served right there with you for a decade, I ask you today to consider that we have 4 amazing candidates. We have 4 people who only care about the Assembly District 66 and the state of California. We have 4 people who are going to work very hard to try to win this seat and who will represent probably all very well. But I ask for you today, as a fellow delegate, as somebody who spent a very long time advocating in my district and in my area, for you to vote no endorsement on Assembly District 66 and allow us the opportunity to go through a primary and have this opportunity to come back and ask for your support then when there are only 2 candidates. I hope that you'll hear my voice today as a fellow delegate, as a fellow activist, as somebody who's worked hard for working families in my community. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, you know it is not easy to run for office. So would you please give the Assembly District 56 candidates who just poured their hearts out to you a round of applause. Sarah Dean, and Shannon Reese Ross. And thank you all for good luck. So now we will move to Senate District 24. Oh, they're all smiling. I have the order, as I mentioned before, the staff did pull in alphabetical order, and this was the order. So if people appear, you'll get 3 minutes only. There's your timekeeper. I don't want anybody to say, I didn't know. So we have Mike Newhouse, Brian Goldsmith, Ellen Evans, John Erickson, Eric Alegria, and Sam Roy. Start with. Okay, so why don't we begin with Mike? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Loud enough? I've never been accused of being quiet.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? That's because you're old, Steph.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, everybody, Mike Newhouse, great to see you. First of all, thanks to the delegates. I was a delegate myself. I know how hard you work, and you're such an important part of this party. Look, I've lived in the center of the district in Venice for the last 30 years. My wife and I have 24 years. Ruth have raised 2 beautiful kids, Holden and Dylan. They're 18 and they're 15. We're very, very proud of it. In terms of the community, look, I've been doing this for free and for fun for 30 years. I was president of my Venice Neighborhood Council for 2 years, and then went and organized a group of all 15 neighborhood councils on the west side of LA into what's called the West Side Regional Alliance of Councils, which is still going 18 years later. Mayor Garcetti appointed me to the West LA Area Planning Commission, where I was president, and Mayor Bass appointed me to the Citywide Planning Commission, where I served as vice president until recently. Professionally, my wife and I own a small law firm. We're small business people. We've got 8 attorneys who work for us. We work in the spaces of housing law, creating housing, affordable housing. We work in the space of labor and employment. We work in the space of environmental law. And my heavy educational background is environmental law and in environmental sciences. What does that mean in terms of why I'm running? Well, number one, housing. Look, the biggest problem we're having with the cost of living and with affordability is housing. We've gotten in the way of ourselves for the last 30 years. We haven't built net over net. We need to make it as easy as possible to build, and we need somebody with expertise in that area to do it. Number two, small businesses. Small businesses account for 90% of the businesses in California. They employ 60% of the people. It doesn't take a mathematician to understand how important business is to affordability, cost of living, and the people of this state. Number three, public safety. Look, if we're not properly funding police and fire, it's going to be real tough when you dial 911 to get the help that you need and to help those folks to do the job that they want to do. Next is homelessness. I live in Venice, the epicenter of homelessness outside of Skid Row. Worked very, very hard over the years to help get people sheltered, housed, and to make sure we have proper emotional support and proper drug addiction support for folks. Third of all, environmental law. Look, Ben Allen's got big shoes here. Whoever's jumping in this needs a background heavy in environmental law to be able to protect our coast. Last thing I'd say is, look, affordability to me isn't an abstract. I grew up very poor, very rough. Family was evicted from our home 5 times when I was in high school. I was lucky enough to work hard, get a scholarship to go to college. I worked myself through college as a carpenter. I remember like yesterday what it was to struggle. I know what people are going through. Last thing I would say is I'm proud to be endorsed by a very diverse group of people, business people, environmental groups, the Assembly Speaker, Speaker Pro Tem Josh Lowenthal, Assembly Member Rick Zuber, IBEW Local 47, Democrats for Israel, and about 50 other endorsers you can go find on the website. So I want to thank you all for your time. Again, you work so hard. I remember being a delegate. I appreciate what you do for the party. and I hope you'll support me. Thanks so much, everybody.
Ready? Hey, everybody, I'm Brian Goldsmith. I'm one of approximately 11,000 Senate candidates in this race. I want to thank all the activists and leaders who are here today, Assemblymember Muratsuchi, Assemblymember McKinner, Connie. Thank you to everyone for the good work that you're doing for our party. I just have to step back for a second and ask, what is happening in America today? I mean, I just read this morning that there is an out-of-control measles outbreak in the southeast of the United States of America. NATO, our closest allies, are surging troops into Greenland to defend Europe from the United States of America. And here at home, we have masked, marauding gangs of ICE thugs who are attacking, picking up, doing God knows what to U.S. citizens and immigrants alike because Stephen Miller has some quota he's got to hit. I did not plan to run for office. These are extraordinary times, and all of us need to step up and do something about it. And I'm glad all of you are here on a beautiful Saturday morning to do something about this. We have to do two things at once. Number one, we have to fix California. We have to reduce the cost of living. We have to make it easier and more affordable to be here. We have to defend public safety. We have to take on homelessness. We have to prepare our state for the future. And we have to do the second thing as well. We have to do everything in our power, use every tool in the toolbox, litigation, legislation, regulation, to stand up to the out-of-control maniac in the White House. We have to do both. We have to do both. And anybody who tells you that one or the other is enough isn't telling you the truth. Why are people like Speaker Pelosi, Senator Boxer, Secretary Buttigieg getting involved in a California state Senate race to endorse me? It's not because of my sparkling personality. It's because they trust me to be able to bring diverse coalitions of Democrats together to get big things done for our state. This is a generational inflection point for California. And all of us need to step up and do something that may be different or uncomfortable to meet this extraordinary moment that we're in. That's why I'm running. That's why I want to serve all of you. And I respectfully ask you for your support. And if you can't quite get there yet, because some of you are just getting to know me, text me, email me, call me, but vote no endorsement today so that we can let the process play out and you can make a judgment in the primary. I deeply appreciate your time, your willingness to listen to me. I'm eager to hear your thoughts and ideas about how we make our district better. And I thank you very much today.
How's that? Is that good? Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. My name is Ellen Evans, and I'm in this race because I believe leadership should be accountable, grounded in lived experience, judged by outcome. My leadership has been built in the city of LA through years of hands-on work on neighborhood safety, land use, infrastructure, and governance. I've led in situations where the problems were real, the problems were complex, the stakeholders were real, and the consequences were immediate. And that work requires persistence, coalition building, and accountability to the people affected, not just fluency in process. I'm also shaped by experiences that don't normally land on a political resume. I've been an LGBTQ advocate since the beginning of the AIDS crisis when I was arrested for protesting another Republican president who didn't believe our vulnerable communities should be protected and didn't care whether they lived or died. I've been a union carpenter and an IATSE member, and I understand the pressure working families across our district face as prices go up and wages do not. I've been a stay-at-home mom responsible for caregiving, logistics, and making things work when there was no room to fail. And if you haven't noticed, I bring to this race another unique experience. I'm a woman in the United States of America. And I am the mother of a daughter who has fewer rights over her own body than I did at her age. All this has taught me how power actually works and how it often overlooks people who are expected to sit back and just take the consequences. And with a president in Washington who attack truth, democracy, and basic rights, California has to be steady and strong. Our most effective resistance isn't performative outrage, but governing competently, defending civil rights, and delivering results people can feel in their everyday lives. On the strength of my experience, my record of local leadership, and my ability to tackle California's toughest challenges, I ask you to consider voting for me, but I also want to speak plainly about process. I think many people in this room share a quiet instinct that our party works best when races stay open long enough for leadership ideas and experience to be evaluated on their merits. In crowded races, early institutional endorsements don't always clarify choices. They narrow them, substituting individual judgment for voter judgment before voters have a chance to engage. So here's my ask. If you believe my leadership and endorsement, my leadership experience for your endorsement, I certainly welcome it. If you're not ready to make a choice between the candidates standing before you today, I ask you to vote no preference. It's a vote of confidence in Democrats across our district to pick the best candidate. And please don't abstain because that would forfeit your voice and lower the threshold. I believe the party is strongest when it reflects a range of leadership paths and experiences and when it trusts the electorate. Thank you.
Back up it goes. Ready? Hi, everyone. I'm John Erickson. I am a council member in the city of West Hollywood, everyone's favorite place to go and complain about when it's too loud over pride. But I am also here running as a local elected leader, as well as an activist. I've been in your shoes before, having served on many Democratic club boards, making sure I pay those dues every year to make sure I can vote. We all remember those meetings. But I am here running to make sure I can bring bold, courageous leadership all the way down from the local level up to Sacramento. And that is why I'm running to make sure working people and working families have a voice, ensuring that when we talk about the minimum wage, we're actually talking about the minimum wage and moving forward to make sure, like I did in West Hollywood, by making sure the minimum wage was the highest in the country and now highest in the state. Thank you, Oregon. We'll come back eventually. But running forward to make sure that then workers had historic sick and leave-based provisions for all hourly workers in West Hollywood, a model policy that has been taken regionally and across the state. But it doesn't stop there. West Hollywood swings above its weight all the time. And not only starting as an intern, literally in the city council offices and working my way up to mayor, I know how the nuts and bolts of local government work. And I know when I roll up my sleeves in Sacramento, when I'm the next senator for this district, I'm going to be making sure I'm with you in your cities, in your communities, in your towns, and making sure that your priorities are what matters. Making sure that you don't have to drive 20 to 30 miles to get to a community meeting when you can take rail. Please submit a public comment. I beg of you to make sure Metro hears you. Making sure that we are doing everything to make sure teachers are not paying for their own school supplies and fully funding and asking billionaires to pay their fair share. Billionaires are ruining this country, and we are finally at a precipice when people are saying, I cannot afford my rent, my groceries, or my gas. And we need a leader up there who knows how much money is in their checking account, how much money their student loans are, and everything that we need to make sure our California values are prosperous. That is why I am endorsed by Lindsay Horvath, Hilda Solis, Janice Hahn, Sheila Kuehl, individuals like Jose Salache, Mark Gonzalez, but it goes even further than that. I'm endorsed by elected leaders and community leaders in every city in this district already because I've built a regional coalition working tirelessly in West Hollywood to make sure we thrive. When people said the minimum wage was going to ruin our city, when I was mayor, we had a $31 million budget surplus. Tell me, when workers thrive, we all thrive. And that's why California Teachers Association, California Faculty Association, SCIU, NUHW, Unite Here Local 11. I can go on. You can go to my website, but I am the most endorsed candidate by labor in this one because when working people go to the polls, they know that I'm going to fight like hell. I'm going to fight like hell for all of you because I've never looked away from a fight, and I look forward to this, and I look forward to having the wonderful relationship we all have really gotten to know, and I ask for your support.
Good morning. Good morning, Democrats. Thanks for being with us today. Beautiful day. I'm so proud of the democratic process that I've gone through with my fellow candidates over the last several weeks. That's been the most democratic process, I think, that I've seen in the state of California. I'm proud to stand in front of you. My name is Eric Alegria. I was once a college runner, and I learned a valuable lesson, which is that races are best run when that starting line is fair. And we just are at a place in our history where that just doesn't seem to be true anymore. That's a lesson that I learned long ago, working alongside farm workers as a young person, and ultimately leading a nonprofit to ensure that their economic growth and development. Those principles have led my life, 20 years of service, leading companies, nonprofits, to advance the poor and vulnerable. And in my current status as the CEO of a public health company, where we're doing just that. As an adjunct professor of public policy at USC, I'm teaching our future leaders how to do this work alongside us in the future. But progress isn't just progress. I'm a Democrat ultimately believes that our progress is measured by results, not rhetoric. And as a city council member and school board member, I'm very proud of the fact that we advanced emergency preparedness over the last 8 years in such a way as to ensure that we were ready and prepared. Principles and ideas that I think could advance across our state to make us even more prepared. We expanded open space and protected it to ensure that certain species can continue to live and thrive for future generations as well. With the advent of my colleague Paul Seo, we introduced new governance, which included the youth as a youth advisory committee for the very first time in our city. Progress is measured by results. My priorities are healthcare access, public safety, ensuring that we continue to invest in the right way in public education in our future, and to ensure that we continue to partner alongside one another to ensure a better future for one another as well. Now is the time to bring hope. Now is the time for proven leadership. And given my experiences, I believe I'm just that person. That's why I'm supported by some of our best Democratic progressive leaders over the years: John Chang, Anthony Renton, Mike Gatto, dozens and dozens of local school board leaders and local city leaders as well, as the Deputy District Attorneys of Los Angeles, IBW 40. I'm proud to stand in front of you. Now is the time to give hope. That hope is measured by progress, by movement, by making things a little bit better for the people that we serve. And I'm just the candidate to do that for you today. I appreciate your time and your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Shai Roy, and I know many of you in this room because I've been a delegate like you, former Dem Club president, and have served in this district for at least 15 years. I'll tell you the very specific reason why I want to run, and I respect my opponents in this race. I'm a physician at Harvard UCLA, big public hospital that serves South LA, communities of color. Almost half of my patients are undocumented. And I am running so that our healthcare system can better serve those patients that I serve at Harvard UCLA. We are undergoing unprecedented changes with the Medi-Cal cuts at the federal level and the state level, where we're cutting undocumented patients off of Medi-Cal. And we need healthcare people in Sacramento to fight for community standard healthcare for all Californians, including the 50% of California children that receive Medi-Cal. We're losing 2 physicians in the assembly, in Joaquin Arambula and Jasmine Baines, leaving a singular physician, Akilah Weber, in the Senate, and a couple of other people with healthcare backgrounds. There will be significant change to our healthcare system over the next decade. And this is the last year of significant legislative turnover because of term limits. And we need more people who come from the safety net and the systems that serve all Angelenos and all Californians to help stabilize and make better a system that was already in crisis before this year. The 1A reason that I'm running is fires. We lost our home in the Palisades fire in Malibu. It was a huge upheaval for our family. My wife is a physician at UCLA. We have an 8-year-old, and we very much thought, is this the right time to do something like this for our family? And when we got to February and March, we decided it was because we wanted to bring the voice of our community, the voice of this Senate district, up to Sacramento as we recovered from the significant challenges of the fire. issues like insurance stabilization, fire mitigation, making fire safe rebuilding affordable for all Californians are critical for this Senate district, and we need leadership from on-the-ground people who are going through that. I am also chair of the Santa Monica College Board of Trustees, former PTA president for my elementary school son's elementary school, and I hope to bring that leadership as well up there. And finally, I'm proud to announce our most recent endorsement. He just called me this morning, Rob Bonta, for Attorney General Rob Bonta. And in addition to people like Tina McKinnon, Henry Stern, Rick Chavez-Zabur, 22 out of the 26 electeds in Santa Monica, Brittany McKinley, our former opponent. I'm so honored to have so much support, and I would be honored to have your support. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm glad I don't have to vote there.
No, keep going. I'm just taking my computer away.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Please, again, this is a tough race, tough choices here, but that's the good news. That's what happens when you're with the Democratic Party. You get good damn candidates. You just heard the reasons why from these 10 candidates. So I would like you to thank again for Senate District 24, Mike Newhouse, Brian Goldsmith, Ellen Evans, John Erickson, Eric Olivia, and Shai Roy. Please. I will now announce the balloting process, in case you haven't read it 20 times already. Not every district will have a pre-endorsing conference vote. The pre-endorsing conference will only be held in districts where a Democratic incumbent is not running, or in the case of 5 congressional districts, if an incumbent has been removed from the consent calendar. Ballot emails will include all eligible voters' electoral districts if they have an endorsement race. This is critically important right here, so take this note. Voters will receive separate ballot emails for the Assembly, Senate, and Congressional pre-endorsing conferences. Separate, so you may have to vote once, twice, or 3 times. So make certain that you look for, in your particular races, your area, who's running, and you may get more than 1 ballot. And please spread that message, because we're really concerned while we're trying to make it transparent and keep the track of it so we can report to you how everybody voted, that people know to vote for more than one, look for more than 1 ballot. I want to remind everyone again that ballots will be emailed to all eligible voters today at 12 noon and must be completed and submitted before 12 noon on Saturday, a week from today, January 24th. That is the deadline for completing and submitting ballots. So when balloting will close then, voters again will receive a separate ballot for each of those races, Assembly, Senate, and Congressional. The ballot will contain a link to Election Buddy, along with your unique voting access key and password. So you will get an email from the party giving you that information. So I'll now explain the voting options for eligible voters. A candidate vote directly supports the candidate and contributes to the total vote threshold. No endorsement, no preference, does not support a specific candidate, but does contribute to the total vote threshold. Abstain. If a voter wishes to abstain from the election, they should select the abstain option. However, a vote to abstain does not count toward the total vote threshold. So campaigns and regional directors are going to be monitoring the voting list as voters complete their Election Buddy ballot, and you will be able to see who voted. Maybe not on the 24th, but ultimately the party does publish, these are public votes, and you will be able to see how everyone voted. The CADEM team will schedule election buddy ballot reminders to those who have not voted on Monday, the 19th, Wednesday, the 21st, Thursday, the 22nd, Friday, the 23rd, and Saturday morning before noon. So there'll be plenty of reminders that you need to vote. And I say, if you're in your delegate division, make sure that everyone voted, however they're going to vote. Just make sure that they voted. The results will be made public and posted on the website by the end of Saturday, January 24th. I do believe we have resources. You know, you can always go to cadem.org. There's probably more information than you ever wanted to know about the endorsing process. There's a guide, there's a graphic, there are hotline numbers, because on Saturday, I'll give you that. The office hours for Pre-Endorsing Conference inquiries will be Saturday, starting today. They're open from 8:30 to 3. Monday, they're open from 9 to 6. And next Saturday, from 9 to 12:30. So you can contact them by emailing or calling the main office. Finally, if there are any statewide offices here, I would let you be acknowledging you at this time. I don't see anyone. I do see my congresswoman, who I will acknowledge, but she's going to address us in our regional meeting. Saw her earlier this morning. She's on her second stop, maybe third. I don't know. It's been a great day for everything to get done today. So, unless there's anything else, then I will declare this conference closed and have a cookie.